There's something men have been doing for thousands of years that modern society tells you is outdated, unnecessary, even harmful. But here's what nobody wants to admit. Women can sense it. They might not know what it is. They might not be able to put it into words, but they feel the difference in you. And it changes everything about how they respond to your presence. We're talking about semen retention. And before you dismiss this as pseudoscience or some ancient superstition, understand that what's happening in your body when you practice retention creates observable, measurable changes in your behavior, your energy, and your presence. Changes that women are biologically wired to detect and respond to. The modern world wants you constantly depleted, constantly giving away your energy, constantly seeking that quick hit of dopamine that leaves you foggy, unmotivated, and weak. And then society wonders why men seem less masculine, less driven, less magnetic than previous generations. The connection isn't mysterious, it's biological. Let's talk about what actually happens in your body when you retain versus when you constantly release. This isn't about morality. This isn't about religion. This is about understanding the neurological and hormonal reality of what you're doing to yourself. Every time you release, your body enters a biochemical cascade. Your dopamine, which drives motivation and pleasure, spikes temporarily and then crashes below baseline. Your prolactin, which creates feelings of satisfaction and suppresses arousal, increases significantly and stays elevated for up to 2 weeks. Your testosterone drops, your zinc levels plummet. Your brain literally goes into a refractory period where motivation, confidence, and drive are chemically suppressed. Now imagine doing this multiple times per week or multiple times per day. You're keeping yourself in a constant state of depletion. Your baseline dopamine sensitivity gets destroyed. You need more and more stimulation to feel anything. Your natural confidence, your natural assertiveness, your natural magnetism, all of it gets buried under a fog of chemical suppression. Women don't know the science, but they feel the result. They sense the difference between a man who's in control of himself and a man who's enslaved to impulse. Between a man who radiates focused energy and a man who seems scattered and depleted. Between a man who looks them in the eye with steady confidence and a man who can't maintain eye contact because his nervous system is fried from constant overstimulation. Here's what happens when you start retaining. And we're talking about real retention. 30 days minimum to see the full effects, though changes start appearing within the first week. Your testosterone increases. Studies show a 45% spike at day 7, then stabilization at a higher baseline. Your dopamine receptors begin to heal and resensitize. Colors look brighter. Music sounds better. Conversations become engaging instead of draining. Your motivation to pursue goals returns naturally instead of having to force it. Your voice deepens slightly. Not dramatically, but enough that people notice something different when you speak. Your eye contact becomes steady and penetrating instead of darting and uncertain. Your posture straightens without conscious effort because your testosterone is literally changing how you hold yourself. Your skin clears up. Your eyes become brighter, more alert. There's a vitality in your face that wasn't there before. Women notice this immediately, even if they can't articulate what's different about you. Your energy levels transform. That mid-afternoon crash disappears. That constant low-grade fatigue that you thought was just part of being an adult, gone. You wake up with energy. You maintain focus throughout the day. You still have drive in the evening instead of collapsing on the couch. But here's the most important change, the one that shifts how women respond to you. Your presence becomes grounded. You stop seeking validation from every woman you encounter. You stop that subtle, desperate energy that screams, "Please find me attractive." You become comfortable in your own skin in a way that makes others comfortable around you. Women are incredibly sensitive to male energy. They've evolved to be. For thousands of years, female survival depended on accurately assessing male status, confidence, and genetic quality. They developed an almost supernatural ability to sense whether a man is in his power or whether he's weak, desperate, and depleted. When you're constantly releasing, you radiate a specific frequency that women interpret as low status. Not because of anything you say or do consciously, but because of subtle signals, your body language, your voice, your eye contact, your nervous system all communicate. You seem needy without trying to be needy. You seem uncertain even when you're trying to project confidence. You seek their approval through 1,000 micro behaviors you're not even aware of. When you retain, this reverses. You stop caring so much about impressing them because you feel full instead of empty. You're not trying to get something from them to fill a void. You're already complete. And paradoxically, this is when they start pursuing you. Your conversations change. Instead of trying to say the right thing to generate attraction, you speak your truth and let them respond how they respond. Instead of monitoring their reactions to adjust your behavior, you stay in your own frame and they either enter it or they don't. This frame control, this centered presence, is more attractive than any technique or tactic you could learn. Your physical presence in a room changes. Other men sense it too. There's a quiet confidence that comes from retention that makes people defer to you naturally. In group settings, people turn toward you when you speak. They seek your opinion. They follow your lead, not because you're trying to dominate, but because you stop seeking approval, and that creates a natural magnetism. Let's address the elephant in the room. You've been told your entire life that regular release is healthy, necessary, even required for proper functioning. You've been told that retention is dangerous, that it causes problems, that it's repressing natural urges in harmful ways. This is propaganda, not because there's some grand conspiracy, but because we live in a culture that profits from your weakness. The adult industry generates $97 billion per year. The pharmaceutical industry sells products to fix the motivation problems, the confidence problems, the energy problems that constant release creates. The self-help industry sells solutions to the lack of drive that comes from depleted dopamine systems. Nobody wants you to discover that the solution is free, that it's been inside you the whole time, that you just need to stop doing the thing that's destroying your vitality. Your body is designed to retain. Look at every other aspect of your physiology. Your body conserves resources. It recycles nutrients. It maintains homeostasis. But somehow, you've been convinced that the most concentrated, nutrient-dense substance your body produces, containing zinc, vitamin C, calcium, proteins, enzymes, and hormones, should be thrown away multiple times per week. Does that make biological sense? Ancient cultures knew this. Taoist practices, tantric traditions, yogic disciplines, warrior cultures across the world, they all practiced and taught retention. They understood that sexual energy, properly channeled, becomes life force energy, drive, ambition, creative power, physical vitality. Modern science is slowly catching up. Studies on the neurochemical effects of orgasm are revealing what ancient wisdom already knew. Your brain treats sexual release like a drug. The same reward pathways that respond to cocaine and alcohol light up. The same patterns of tolerance, dependence, and withdrawal appear. When you practice retention, you're not repressing anything. You're redirecting. You're transmuting sexual energy into productive energy, into the gym, into your business, into your creative projects, into your social interactions. You feel the energy rising, and instead of releasing it, you channel it. This is why retained men accomplish more. They have more drive because they're not constantly draining their motivation system. They build businesses, create art, train harder, pursue goals with intensity that depleted men simply cannot match. And women sense this immediately. They sense that you're a man who's building something, a man who has direction and purpose, a man who's not enslaved to impulse. This triggers every attraction switch in their psychology. Here's what you need to understand about female attraction. It's not about looks, though looks help. It's not about money, though money helps, it's primarily about how you make them feel. And nothing makes a woman feel more attracted than being in the presence of a man who is fully in his masculine power. Retention puts you in your masculine power. It's not the only factor, but it's foundational. Everything else, the confidence, the assertiveness, the leadership, the drive, becomes easier when you're not chemically suppressed. When you walk into a room after 30 days of retention versus 30 days of constant release, you're literally a different person. Your hormones are different, your neurotransmitters are different, your presence is different. And women respond to this difference even though they don't know why. They'll start conversations with you more often. They'll maintain eye contact longer. They'll find excuses to be near you. They'll laugh harder at your jokes. They'll touch you more during conversation. These aren't conscious decisions on their part. This is biology recognizing biology. Now let's talk about the practical reality of retention. The first week is the hardest. Your brain is used to regular dopamine hits. It will fight you. You'll experience urges, irritability, difficulty sleeping. This is normal. This is withdrawal. Your brain is recalibrating. By week 2, energy returns. Sleep improves. Confidence increases noticeably. The brain fog starts lifting. You notice yourself naturally making eye contact more, standing straighter, speaking more clearly and directly. By week 3, the changes accelerate. Morning energy is high. Motivation for goals returns naturally. You're not forcing yourself to go to the gym. You want to go. Projects that seemed overwhelming now seem manageable. Social interactions that drained you now energize you. By week 4, you're operating at a completely different baseline. This is your natural state. This is who you are without constant depletion. And the difference is so stark that you'll wonder how you functioned before. Women will notice. Friends will ask what changed. Coworkers will treat you differently. Not because you're trying to be different, but because you're no longer suppressed. The mistake most men make is thinking retention alone is enough. It's not. Retention gives you energy and drive, but you need to direct that energy somewhere productive. If you just retain without purpose, without goals, without channeling that energy, you'll eventually break. The energy needs an outlet. This is why retention works best, combined with physical training, creative work, business building, skill development. The energy you're retaining becomes fuel for these pursuits. You're not white-knuckling abstinence. You're transmuting sexual energy into productive energy. Women are attracted to this because it signals genetic quality. A man who can delay gratification, who can control impulses, who channels energy into building something valuable. This is a man with high future time orientation. This is a man who will protect and provide. This is a man whose children will have better outcomes. Female attraction isn't random. It's responding to signals of male quality. Your ancestors practiced retention before battle, before hunts, before important decisions. They understood that retention sharpened focus, increased courage, heightened awareness. Modern men have forgotten this wisdom because society needs you weak and compliant and constantly seeking the next dopamine hit. Here's what they don't tell you: the adult industry, the dating apps, the constant accessibility of stimulation. These aren't accidents. These are systems designed to keep you depleted. A depleted man doesn't build, doesn't create, doesn't challenge power structures. He consumes. He seeks comfort. He poses no threat to the status quo. Retention is rebellion. It's taking back your power from systems designed to drain you. It's refusing to participate in your own weakening. And women respond to this on a primal level because a man who's retained is a man who's free. Free from impulse. Free from desperation. Free from the need to constantly prove himself. This freedom is magnetic because it's so rare in modern men. Let's address the arguments against retention. You'll hear that it's unhealthy, that regular release is necessary for prostate health. The research doesn't support this for young men. The studies showing benefits of frequent release involve men over 50. For men under 40, the research shows neutral to positive effects of retention. You'll hear that it's repressive, that it creates psychological problems. The opposite is true. What creates psychological problems is addiction to stimulation, destroyed dopamine sensitivity, constant depletion of motivation and energy. Retention reverses these problems. You'll hear that it's impossible, that the urges are too strong. The urges are strong because your brain is addicted. After the first 2 weeks, the urgency decreases dramatically. By week 4, you're in control rather than controlled by impulse. The truth is simple. Women are attracted to men in their power. Retention is one path to reclaiming that power, not the only path, but a foundational one. Every other form of self-improvement becomes easier when you're not chemically suppressed. Your confidence becomes real instead of forced. Your assertiveness becomes natural instead of compensatory. Your presence becomes magnetic instead of needy. And women feel all of this without understanding why. They don't need to know you're practicing retention. They just notice that something about you is different, that you seem more together, more grounded, more attractive, and they respond accordingly. This isn't manipulation. This isn't trickery. This is you becoming the fullest version of yourself, the version that isn't constantly depleted, the version that has energy and drive and purpose, the version that women are naturally drawn to. Try 30 days. Just 30 days of complete retention, no release through any means. Channel the energy into productive pursuits, train hard, build something, create something, work on goals that matter, and watch how your presence changes. Watch how people respond to you differently. If after 30 days you don't notice significant changes in energy, confidence, motivation, and how women respond to you, then you can dismiss everything said here. But you'll notice. Everyone who commits to 30 days notices. The question isn't whether retention works. The question is whether you have the discipline to find out. Most men don't. Most men will continue doing what they've always done, staying depleted, wondering why they lack drive and magnetism. They'll blame their genetics, their circumstances, their luck with women. But some men will try it. And those men will discover what their ancestors knew, that sexual energy is life force energy, that retention transforms you, that women sense the difference and respond accordingly. You don't have to hide this from women. You don't have to explain it to them. You just have to do it. The results speak for themselves. Your presence speaks for itself. And they'll be drawn to you without knowing why. Smaller might be better in this context because less frequent release means more retained energy. Less depletion means more vitality. Less impulse gratification means more drive toward meaningful goals. And women notice. They always notice. The choice is yours. Stay depleted and wonder why nothing changes. Or try 30 days of retention and discover what you're capable of when you're no longer suppressed. The difference will shock you. And the women around you will notice before you tell them anything.